In the previous lesson, I showed you that after you create a chart, you can apply a predefined style. What a style does is define specific values for some of the chart's characteristics. For example, it can change the color of the columns or the chart area's background color, the font type, and much more. Another thing you can do is select a predefined layout to that chart. The layout adds or removes elements of the chart, such as data labels, the legend, and much more. You will learn how you can add or remove elements of the chart in the next lesson. For this lesson, I want to show you how you can format each element of a chart by yourself. A good technique is to apply a ready-made style and then make some minor adjustments to the formatting, or you might do the formatting from scratch if none of the available styles suit you. First, I will show you how to generally make formatting changes to the chart, and then I will dive into some specific formatting options of interest. I will move the mouse over an empty area of the chart, and after leaving it here for a moment, a label appears telling me that this area under the mouse is the chart area. I will right-click, and at the end of this menu there is the option to format the chart area. This is something that generally works for all areas, for all elements of the chart. If you right-click on an element, the context menu that will appear will have somewhere at the end an option to format this element. However, finding the chart element by hovering the mouse over the chart is not always an easy task. In the previous lesson, I showed you something that I will repeat here because it is very important. I will press Escape on the keyboard to close this menu. And with the chart selected, I will go to the Format tab. Here in the current selection palette, there is a list that contains all the elements of the chart. Note that it contains all the visible elements of the chart, but I will talk more about how you can show or hide elements in the next lesson. From this list, it is easier to choose what element you want, of course, if you know its name. For example, I will select the plot area and see in the chart that this specific area was selected. If you try to do it with the mouse, you should go to this area and then the appropriate label will appear. This is somewhat more difficult because there are columns, grid lines, and other charts may contain even more information. So if the chart is packed with elements, you can select the element you want from this list. It's much easier. Now that I have selected the area of interest, the chart element of interest, from the current selection palette again, I will click on the Format Selection button and the panel opens. This panel contains tools to format this specific element of the chart. Other elements have other tools and the panel will have a different look, but the way to get to the panel is always the same. I will open the list of chart elements and select the chart area this time. Notice that the options in the open panel have changed because the chart area has other formatting options available. I will close this panel with the X to explain all this again, because if you understand this logic, then you can format whatever you want on any chart. So, when you want to format an element of a chart area, for example, as I said, the elements and areas are the same thing. It could be the chart area itself, it could be the axis, it could be the plot area, or for example, the columns of this chart. You can do it in two ways. The first is to right-click on the area of interest. Now I right-clicked on a column, so I'm formatting the columns. The context menu that appears will have a formatting option towards its end. Here it says Format Data Series, but the name is different according to the element you right-clicked on. You click on this option and the panel opens. I will close the panel to show you the second way. From the Format tab in the current selection palette, you can open the list and select an area. For example, I will select chart title this time, and then you will click on Format Selection button. The panel appears again with all the formatting options you can apply to that selected area, to that selected element. Of course, this panel has a lot of options which are different for each element of the chart, and some of them are a bit hidden, but if you know how to get here, you can search for the options you want. In my advanced level series of lessons, I explain most of the formatting you can apply to the most of the chart elements. For now, let's look at some specific formatting options that you need to know, starting with fill and outline formatting. I will show this on the chart area, but the logic is the same for other areas that accept fill and outline. I will open the list of chart areas and select the chart area. Now that the panel is already open, there is no need to press the Format Selection button because the panel automatically changes to show the formatting options related to the chart area. So this panel, when visible, automatically changes to show the formatting options of the selected area. I will open the fill formatting options and choose solid fill. And from the color button below, I will select a pale shade of green, for example. There are other options here too. For example, I will choose picture or text fill, and with the insert button, I can insert an image as the fill for the chart. Or by opening the texture button, I can choose a different texture. For example, I will choose a paper bag here. Depending on the fill option I choose, different options appear at the end. I will also increase, for example, for the picture and the texture here, I will increase the transparency to around 80% to be able to see better the changes I applied, and notice that I can see whatever is behind the chart now that I have increased the transparency. Now I will close the fill tools and open the tools for borders. The logic is similar. I will choose, let's say, a solid line and open the color button to select a dark blue here, and I will increase the width to 3 points to make the outline more visible. You can see below that there are other options to format the outline. For example, I will open the dash type and choose here the round dot. Regarding the fill and outline, I can make all these formatting changes from the tools located on the Format tab in the Styles, Shape Styles palette. That is from the Shape Fill tool. I can choose a color, gradient, or texture from the available options, or by pressing more fill colors, a panel with a dialog box with even more colors will open. Also here in the Shape Outline tool, I can define the outline of the selected area. I can set a specific color, define the thickness and the dashes from here, as I can do from the panel. Just like with the fill, if I click on the more outline colors option, a window will open with more colors to choose. Whether you apply the chart formatting from the panel or these tools, it's exactly the same. Regarding now the panel and how it works, notice that these formatting options, for fill and outline, they are located in the group called Fill and Line. I will click on the Effects group. From here I have another set of tools through which I can format the selected area with some special effects. I will open the set of tools related to shadow, for example, and from the presets button I will choose one of the perspective shadows. You can see in the chart that this specific shadow formatting has been applied to the selected chart area. I will open the list of the chart areas and select the series 2020. Now I can apply effects that concern this element of the chart. Although I could apply a shadow here, I will not do it. I will close the shadow tools and open the glow tools. I will open the button with the presets and choose one of these here. Now this glow has been applied around all the columns of the chart. So be aware that the formatting panel usually contains the tools in groups, and you can move around the groups using these buttons up here. If you want to give formatting specifically to one of the columns, you need to select it separately. This is one of the few things you cannot do from the list of chart elements. You have to do it by clicking on the chart. I will click on the September column. So now only this column is selected. I will close the glow tools and open the one called soft edges. I will open the presets and choose 2.5 points. What this effect does is blur the edges of the object it applies to. There's a trick here. When you want to select just one column, I will click outside the chart and then I will click on the February column, for example. Notice that with this click, all the columns were selected. That is the whole 2020 series area. Now I will click again on the February column, and now I have selected only this column. So you need 2 clicks, but not 2 quick clicks, just 2 clicks one after the other. I will move to the group of effect tools and go to the glow set. and from the presets I will choose a different glow color. So remember that by clicking on a series in the chart, I select the whole series with a second click, and pay attention not to double click, just a second click. Then I select a specific part of the series if I want to apply formatting only to that part. Let's have a look at the font formatting options to close this lesson. When I select an area of the chart that contains text, I can format the text with the already known text formatting options. I will click on one of the months on the horizontal axis, so now I have selected the horizontal axis, or as it is also called, the category axis. You can see in the related list of the current selection palette that it tells me which element of the chart is selected. I will now go to the Home tab and change the size, for example, to 14. I will change the font color to blue. Let's also make the letters to be bold. The same can be done with the chart title or the text of the vertical axis, or generally anywhere there is text. So you can format the text of a chart element with these tools you already know in the Home tab. The formatting options for charts and their areas are numerous. At the basic level, you should be interested in being able to do these few things I showed you in this lesson, but the possibilities are much more extensive. It is important to understand the way you can access the formatting options, because this is the key to find what you want. Those of you who attend the advanced level courses will see how you can truly transform your chart using these options. That's all for this lesson. Thank you for watching.